My mother smiled at my wedding and whispered, "You can still leave her." What she didn't know is that I had already made sure she could never stop us. I'm a woman, and the person I was marrying was also a woman. My mother claimed that wasn't her problem, but once my fiancé and I announced our engagement, she treated our relationship like a mistake that might still disappear. First, she called my fiancé that woman. Then she asked whether I was taking her name. When I refused to argue, she said, "You've changed since you moved out." What she meant was that I had stopped letting her control me. My grandmother offered to host the wedding at her home. It wasn't a luxury venue, but the garden mattered because my late father took me there as a child. Then my mother heard about the cake tasting. That night, she called me screaming, "Your wedding is suspicious. It isn't traditional. You barely know her. We've been together for 4 years. She could be hiding anything." Then she told me my grandmother had canceled the wedding. "But don't worry," she added. "I'll find you a proper venue." That was when I realized she had tried to destroy our plans so she could replace them with a wedding she controlled. I called my grandmother. My mother had frightened her with stories about property damage, lawsuits, and claims that grief over my father was clouding my judgment. After we talked, my grandmother admitted she had panicked and agreed to host us again. My mother's next move was worse. She called and asked whether my fiancé was nearby. Then she lowered her voice. "Are you pregnant?" I froze. There was no reason for her to think that. She was really suggesting I had cheated with a man. Later, my sister told me my mother was spreading the rumor through the family. That night, my fiancé found me crying. "What would make you feel safe?" she asked. I thought about the venue, the ceremony, and the marriage license my mother seemed determined to stop. Then I said, "What if we were already married?" A week later, my sister and 2 trusted friends joined us at the diner where we had celebrated our engagement. We wore ordinary clothes. We signed our marriage license beside a basket of fries. Strangers applauded when our friend pronounced us wives. We told almost no one. At the public ceremony, my mother kept asking where the marriage license was and whether an interruption could delay it. Then, just before we were presented as wives, she stood. "You don't have to do this," she said. "You can still come home." The garden went silent. I looked at my wife and smiled. "Mom, it already is permanent." Her face changed. "What?" "We got married last month." She accused my wife of manipulating me and said I had humiliated her. But for once, I didn't apologize. "You tried to cancel my wedding, spread lies about me, and convince me to leave the woman I love. I didn't make you stand up. You did that yourself." My grandmother told her to sit down or leave. My mother left. The ceremony continued. That night, I realized I hadn't lost my family. I had learned which people loved me without needing to control me. My mother still says I betrayed her by keeping the marriage secret. So was I wrong to let her believe she could stop us, or was that the only way to protect my wife and our future?